Hey y'all, alright, let's make these delicious deviled eggs. I have 18 eggs over here that I have cooked up, y'all. And that's why I tell y'all, I don't really have a recipe for this, but I don't mind a bit to show y'all how I do it, okay? I have all of my yolk here. I like to fluff it up with a fork. That's what I always do once I put it in here. I have all of my egg whites over here except for 3 egg whites, which would be 1.5 eggs. All right, and I have those really finely mashed up. I mean, real fine. This may be something different that I do, but I like to do it. It gives the eggs a little bit more texture. It gives the yolk some texture, and so I like to do it this way. You don't have to. So I put that in there, and then let's see, let's get that kind of just mixed in a little bit. This is one of those things, like I said, sometimes I may make 6, sometimes I may make a dozen, sometimes I may make 2 dozen. You just don't ever know. So you just have to kind of go by the texture of it, and you have to taste it. This is one of those things you definitely have to taste, okay? So let's start with some black pepper. You definitely want some black pepper in your deviled eggs. Let's see here. Quite a bit. I like quite a bit of pepper in mine. Alright, I think that's probably enough. And then I'm going to do a little bit of salt. Alright. And then I like to do a little bit of Creole. Just a little bit, not too much. Just a little bit like that. I do a little bit of parsley. Now, let me take this thing off so I can kind of see more about what I'm adding in here. That comes out so slow. Let's see. Not that much. That may be about a good teaspoon. It just takes it forever to come out. Y'all know that. Alright, and now we're going to start with our other stuff. So I use sweet relish. I love sweet relish in mine. If you like to use dill, you can do dill. So let's see. And I do a lot of relish. I like a lot of relish in it. So you can see here, that's a big heaping tablespoon, and I'm probably going to do close to 2 of those. That one may not be as big. Let me mix that around and see what I think. I love the relish in it. Let's see here. Alright, we'll stop at that for now. Okay, we'll set that aside. And then I'm going to do some mustard. We're going to start with a good teaspoon or so. Okay. And then we got our mayo. And y'all, I have a new container of mayo. I love it. It just makes it so much easier. All right, and we're just going to start with a good spoonful like this. And I'll mix. I'm sure we're going to need more than that. But y'all, you can always go back and add. I have gotten carried away before and put too much. And once you put too much, you've got too much, you know. So play it safe and don't add too much of anything, okay? It don't take you but just a second to mix that up and to know if you need to add more. So we're probably at about 3 tablespoons right now because that one was probably about 2 tablespoons at first, and then I probably added about another 1. So we're going to do about 1 more. So let's go ahead and say about 4. Mix it around. I would rather do this and mix away all day long than to mess it up and get them too runny. But I tell you what I am going to do. To make this a little bit easier, I'm going to remove my fork now that I've got them all mashed up really good, and that will make the mixing process a little bit easier. All right, let's do a little bit more mayo. So let's say we're at 5 tablespoons, heaping tablespoons. Okay. All right. Maybe just a smidge more, maybe about half of that, of what I've been adding, okay? All right, at this point, I'm going to taste it And that way I can check the mustard, I can check the relish, I can check all of that. And one other thing that I want to add too, I don't want to get too runny before I do this. Now these pickles here, this is the original, which I feel like whenever I taste these pickles, I think they're a little bit dill and a little bit sweet. It's like a combination of both. So I'm going to add in a little bit of this liquid. Now you can add any kind of liquid in you want. Sometimes I do a little bit of vinegar, or apple cider vinegar, but since I'm adding this, I'm going to do this instead of the vinegar. And this has a little bit of a kick to it too. These are a little bit spicy. So this gives you a little bit of sweet, little bit of dill, a little bit of spice. I love the flavor of those pickles. All right, so I'm gonna add that in. Like I said, that was just a little splash. All right, let's give it a little taste. Check our salt, our mustard, all that good stuff. All right, we need some more salt. Okay, we need a little bit more mustard, not much, but a little squeeze like that. And I'm gonna put another little splash of this liquid in there, just like that. Okay. Splashing it everywhere, y'all. Get that mixed around real good. Now let me know what y'all cooking tonight. It's a busy, busy day for us cooks, isn't it? Us mamas and grandmamas, and it's just wives, and that's just what we do, is we get in the kitchen and cook for everybody. All right, let me do one more little taste and see where we're at now. Different spoon, of course. That's good. I need a little something else. Let's see. I need a little bit more sweetness. So instead of, I'm not really going to add that much relish. I'm more or less going to do a little bit more of that liquid. It'll have a little bit of relish in it, but quite a bit of the liquid, okay? Give it that little bit more sweetness that I'm looking for. Maybe a little splash of this. Just a tiny bit. Okay. Yep. I think that will do it. And now, y'all know I like to do this part, and I like to taste this, make sure it all tastes just like I would want it if I were making my deviled eggs just like this. And then now y'all know at this point, then I like to add in my cream cheese. I feel like that is the star of the show for this recipe. But I like to get it all very well flavored up before I ever even put that in here, okay? Let me get some of this squared away. I'm going to get out my cream cheese, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all. So I have 8 ounces of cream cheese here that I have let out, I have let it sit out and come up to room temperature. Now I'm going to start with about 3/4 of the package. I think for this amount of eggs, we're going to need that much, or maybe even a little bit more. But you see what I have left here? All right. Now this takes some serious mixing. I'm not going to lie to you, but now I don't like to put it in the microwave and let it get melted up. I just don't like the texture of it whenever I do that. So I've got me out a hard spoon here. And so you're just going to want to mix this, and as you mix it, you're going to notice your yolk is going to get super, super fluffy and delicious. All right, I'm just going to mix this, and I'll be back. All right, y'all. I'll tell you what, that will about cause you break a sweat, because you want to get it really mixed up. But see how fluffy it is here? Like it's fluffy, and I love that. And if you'll always notice, my deviled eggs, like the filling mixture is always huge. It pretty much covers the whole white area. Well, that's because when you add that much cream cheese in there, you think about it, that adds a ton of filling to it, so you can make really big eggs, okay? So then what I do next, I've got me a Ziploc bag here and my cup, and I'm just going to try to get this in here. This bowl is so heavy, y'all. I'm just trying to get it down in there like that. It's harder to do whenever you have this many that you're making, but you can do it. Just press it down in there. That's why I got this deep cup. Hang on, I may have to shake it down for just a second. Yeah. There we go. Get it on down in there, and then you just keep filling that up. Let me get this done, y'all, and I'll be back, and we're going to pop them in. Okay, y'all. I have my bag all full here. Now, I just remembered, y'all know they changed these bags a while back, and they have that crazy little corner on them. I can remember us talking about this the last time I was on here. And it seems like somebody told, this is the Walmart brand. That's just what I always buy for stuff like this. But it seems like somebody told me that maybe the Ziploc brand maybe still have the regular corners. Anyway, if you know, let me know, because I'm definitely going to have to get some of those for just things like this, because this makes it challenging. I'm going to have to try to do it anyway, but let's see. No, that's not going to work. I'm just going to have a big hole here. Hang on a second. Yeah, it seems like they did this so that they could sit upright. And I get that part. I understand it, but it makes it hard for us that use them for piping. Hang on a minute. I got to wash my hands off. Hang on just a second. Okay, y'all. I can go ahead and tell you this is not going to go as usual how I would like for it to. This hole is huge. But I'm going to try to make it work. Let's see here. We're just going to be easy with it and do like one little squeeze, basically. Yeah, that's all you can do. See, and before I would make them so pretty and just decorate it all over the egg. I wish I would have thought about that before and grabbed the other brand. Goodness gracious, what a mess. See this? This is not going good at all. I could have done better spooning it on. I should have just done that. Oh well, I can go back and fix it. But do you see how much you're allowed to put on an egg with doing that cream cheese? Because like I said, it just gives you a ton more of the mixture. And I'll tell you what I probably could have done was cut a corner down here at the other end. I didn't even think about that. I just thought about it now. Too late, too late. Oh well. They'll still be good. We're just gonna have to, I'm gonna have to do a little fixing and working on them. Alright, hang on a second. We got that little batch done. Alright, y'all, I'm not gonna make y'all watch me fill all these. As you can see here, I have filled them and some of them are kind of a mess. I'm gonna have to go back and take some off of some and adjust it because of my little bag situation here. But I'm going to finish doing these and I'll come back and I'm going to show you how we're going to top them off. Okay, y'all. So I finally got them all in here. I'm still not just crazy pleased with it. I feel like I have like little streaks of the stuff here on the pan that I normally, or on the little platter that I normally would not have. But I felt like if I took it off and tried to clean that up, I'd make more mess than what I already had. So anyway, now I'm just doing a little bit of fresh black pepper, as you can see. I don't know, next time I won't make this mistake again of trying to use those bags, that's for sure. You know, I just like for my stuff to, if I were just making them for myself, I wouldn't care. But of course, stuff like this is going to happen whenever you're making them to take somewhere, you know. All right, and I like to put a little bit of salt in my hand and do it this way. That way I can kind of know a little bit more about how much salt is going on it. Because if I sprinkle it over, it's like I can't see the salt. And so I'm not sure about how much I'm adding on. Whenever I use my fingers, I can I have a better judgment of it. So, just like this. Okay. Alright, and then of course we're going to do some smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika. Oh goodness, I left that one out with the black pepper. You can use regular paprika if you want to. But I love this the smoky flavor that this gives. And maybe this will cover up a little bit of the messiness from the little bag mishap. Yeah, it already makes it look better. That makes me feel better. Alright. Now, another thing that is so great about these that I love is once they sit in the fridge, which I always make them the night before, once they sit in the fridge overnight with that cream cheese in them, like, you know, something about the texture, you know, of course the cream cheese is not going to harden up like it would if you were just eating regular cream cheese because it's mixed in with all the stuff, but it just gives the deviled eggs a whole different texture, and I love it, like a thicker style texture, but a nice and creamy style. It's hard to explain, but it just really, really makes them so, so good. Okay. Got just a little bit more over here. And sometimes I'll stick toothpicks in them. That way it just makes it easier. Because, you know, they're kind of hard to pick up. They kind of want to slip and slide around. So sometimes I will just poke toothpicks down in them, and that makes it a lot easier for serving. Let's see. We got it everywhere? I think we do. Alright, y'all. I think that is it. I think our deviled eggs are done. Look at these. Some of these look good. And yes, after all this I've went through, I'm fixing to back y'all up, and I am fixing to have myself one. Of course, I'm going to get it over here. Let's see here. And like I said, right now they're just really... hang on. Right now they're really messy, but once they sit, this is crooked, once they sit in the fridge for a little bit, and that cream cheese will kind of settle in. Y'all are still so crooked. Lord have mercy, just explains my day to a T. But once that cream cheese settles in a little bit, they will be so good. The texture will be so good. They're just perfect. All right, y'all. Let's get us a big bite of this. Perfect. I love them. They're not as pretty as they usually are, but the taste is on point. That's what matters. Okay, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me if you did. Sorry for all the little mishaps and everything. But y'all try these. They are delicious. Everybody will love them. They are great for so many different things. They're great just to have in the fridge and walk by and grab you one out for a little snack. That's what I do all the time if I have them in the fridge. Anyway, y'all have, if I don't see y'all before, y'all have a very happy Thanksgiving. I love all of y'all and I appreciate y'all. All right, bye-bye.